Listen close, we rise up from the ashes, digging for the truth, breaking old habits. We marching with the nesters, they laid the foundation, passed down revelation, sparked our motivation in a world of facades. We peeling back the layers. Truth is the weapon that cuts through all the fakers. Phonets in our chest, reborn from deception. Eyes wide open, no room for misdirection. Every step we take, we honor the connection between past and present, forging our resurrection. Phoenix rises in truth, setting us free from the lies that they feed. We reclaim our beliefs, thinking differently, we'll break every chain. We dance for freedom, case by case, again. We cultivate vision, planting seeds of awareness, challenge the narrative, break out of the harness, digging deep for knowledge, unearthing the hidden. Our minds are the soil where the future is written, no longer confined by the scripts they prescribe. We write our own story, let the real one subscribe. One voice becomes many, together we rally. Freedom's not a concept, it's a move and a tally. By case, we break the cage. Dog by dog, we shift the stage. Phoenix rises in truth, setting us free from the lies that they feed. We reclaim our beliefs, thinking differently, we'll break every chain. We dance for freedom, case by case, again. Rise up, speak out, watch the new world breathe.
Well, good afternoon, you beautiful, amazing people. Do me a real quick favor and hit that thumbs up button. Let's get that out of the way right away. I have got a lot for you tonight. Stuff that is developing that you will never believe. And you're going to say, oh my God, I knew it. I knew it. So do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. Let's get revving to go. I've got some amazing information for you. As always, good evening, Becca. As I welcome all of you in, welcome each other in. Lulu Bell, hello. Critic Rick, welcome in. Kayla, beautiful welcome to everyone in the nest. New songs, new November. I love it. Hello, each other. Hello. Dina, glad you could join us. So glad to see you. Grammy T in the house. Brenda, welcome in. Donna Rosa, I love saying that. Welcome in. Welcome in. Hello, hello to you too. Hello. Let's see. Wicca, never. You did not miss the live. And if you are joining the live on the replay crew, I appreciate you listening in. I have had so many amazing comments in regards to the live stream. And I've got one. I'm just going to do a real quick shout out. Check this out. Let me remove this bad boy and put this up here. Let's see. I love this. So I've got Mad Maven. Hi, Phoenix. And I just threw back some love. I said, this is what Mad Maven said, I don't really always chat and comment that much, but I watch almost all of your videos. I just wanted to tell you that I think you're doing a great job. Heart. And I just wanted to shout you out, Mad Maven. I know you're going to be part of the replay crew. I appreciate you. I appreciate every single one of you that comes in here. Every single one of you that hit that thumbs up. Every single one of you is factually amazing. So I don't know if you've noticed it, but they just added a new option here that you can watch from your phone and not have to turn your phone, which I think is really cool. It's called the Mars effect now. So if you are on your phone, you don't have to turn it. I think that's cool. So it is now streaming for computer, TV, and phone. So that is way cool. Wicca Blank Shady. Hello to you. You didn't miss it. Chilling in chat with the homies. I hear you, Critic Rick. Somebody said something about that gangster music. Yeah, which live are you referring to? This one. We're all in. Y'all are welcome. Hey, Ink Mama. Hello, the Holly Berry. Good to see ya. Joey, good to see ya. Welcome in. Yes. Okie dokie, Lisa. Okay, let's see. I'm ready for a warmer week. I know you said it was like not negative. You said it was like 20 something, I think, yesterday or somewhere around those lines. 21. Yep, happy to be here. Joey, go Pats. Very cold. Very, very cold. Okay, so you're a Patriot fan. I've seen the Patriots live before in their stadium. Yep. And met a couple of NFL players that were doing some charity work. Pretty cool. Donna Rosa. Hey, Amanda. I know you're still working. I know you're mega busy, but welcome in. Listen in, jump in. And I got a message also from someone else that said they download the lives, they listen to it in the car on the way to work, and I thought that was a pretty cool idea too. I mean, sometimes I do download movies if I have a long travel or whatever, but something that was thrown at me earlier is there is I mean, just some amazing video. I'm going to show you a video that I did. It's kind of sums up what I'm going to talk about today. So let me throw that up here for you. And drop below. You like my little cartoon character there. We're going to talk about factually innocent, but I've got some documents I want to share with you, and I've got a video. I don't know if you've seen this one yet, but Amanda, take your time. I know you'll be back. But let's watch this because I think this is pretty interesting. I'll start off with this first. Let's get it up on the screen. Here we go. Listen to this video I made yesterday.
You believe this? I said I would follow through until I found a smoking gun that proved Brian Kohberger was in fact guilty, like we've seen for years in the mainstream media, in social media. And I have found exactly the opposite. This man is factually innocent. I have all the documents, all the proof, have even sent Ann Taylor, his defense attorney at the time, proof that he did not commit this crime. Look at this ISP document that I have for you. I'm going to review it over on the YT. You definitely don't want to miss this. And yes, in the forensics documents, it shows that while Brian Kohberger was charged, arrested, and sitting in jail awaiting trial, that he was indeed factually innocent. And the ISP was doing an investigation on this case still while he was sitting in jail. Can you believe this? And yet he took a plea deal to take the death penalty off of the table. And this crime is still unsolved. So where are all the experts now looking to solve this crime, other than we the people exposing this horrendous, horrible, unjust justice system error? Where are all the people shouting justice for all four, actually five individuals? Where are they now? Where are these people who committed this crime? Where are you? You may even be watching this video. It'll all come full circle. Karma is coming. It will. It always does. You know the drill. All of you know the drill. Join me on the YT as we do a roundtable mod today.
So I made this video yesterday. Y'all can, comment below whatever you want. But yeah, Caleb, if you want to interject, go ahead and tell me whatever it is you want to say. But I'm telling you, it is wild. Some people are starting to wake up. Yes, Brian Kohberger is factually innocent. We'll get in a little bit today about that, but I've got a video I really want us to watch real quick. It came out, Lisa, I hope you warm up, man. I hope it's warmer over there. You know, every day we see something pretty interesting. Aw, you're so sweet, Les. My mascara was kind of messed up, but all good. Caleb, throw it out there. I'll share it. So yeah, he was framed. I have a feeling he was a stand-in, but I'm going to show you some documents today. But first, I want to watch a video. Here's the real issue. It's not that he is factually innocent. They violated all of his rights just to charge him. Well, Caleb, in this statement that you make, it can actually be both. And I'm going to tell you why today. Factually innocent is a legal term. And I'll share a little bit more about that. And Les, you said I'm keep glitching in and out. I hope that it's just temporary. So if you have any problems, text me. I'll fix whatever I need to. And if you guys can't hear me and you're having some issues, definitely just drop it in the chat. Okay. So before we begin, I want to go ahead and I always do a shout out to my mods. They are absolutely fabulous. And Les will be having a procedures tomorrow, and just want to give her some love. I know you aren't going to be here, and it's going to be a long process, and I hope that you are going to be well tomorrow. You're going to do well. Just to let you know, I'm thinking about you. I didn't forget. So let's do this. If you guys, I've talked about this creator on TikTok so many times. I know a lot of you don't watch TikTok or have TikTok, but here's where we have the opportunity to bring TikTok to you, because I think it's important. There are people sharing this case all over the place, and this is a really important thing. Yeah, the new thing. Yep, that phone is. Yep. I hope you guys like it. It's an option that it gave me, and I said, why not? Let's just do it. Hey, 1-1, good to see ya. Yeah, it's brand new. Hopefully you like it. If you guys don't like it, I won't do it. But if it works for you, then wonderful. So let me do this. I want to show you this video, and then we're going to get into it and talk about the details and the documents that I'd like to share with you, because I think it's really important that people understand why he is factually innocent. So not available at not available is one of the TikTok creators that I enjoy watching. I'm going to throw him up on the screen, and hopefully I am not glitching. Hopefully this is just one of those things. Hold on. Let me share this screen again. All right. So, Les, it's basically that it's a allowing you to stream on to see it on your phone and also on your computer or whatever, so you don't have to turn it. But that's the way it was explained to me. It's something called Mars, so hopefully it works for you. So let's watch this video real quick. I don't know if you've seen this yet. It's pretty intense, and I've got some commentary in this one.
In the new released Corner Club footage of November the 13th, Maddie seems to have a heated debate. She said something to the person at the left side and pulls up her middle finger into the air. Here, in a slowed down version, Maddie points her finger at someone and rushes to this blurred out person. But because of the huge amount of reductions and blurred out faces, we couldn't really see what's going on up there. She was about to leave, but something held her back so much that she rushed towards this person. And it's not Jackass, because Jackass is right behind her. After noticing this heated debate, Kaylee grabbed Maddie's arm to walk with her out of the Corner Club. And just like in the grub truck clip, both ignored Jackass, who is visible to the left side, here right after they are leaving, aka Hoodie Guy. Or here another picture of him in the Corner Club. Why are we not seeing the whole clip but only small excerpts, even though it's been almost 3 years?
Okay, so Lana has a video out that I watched, and this guy is overseas. He's got some very good information on his videos, only available at not available. That was absolutely released. Lana put out a video, and here is partial of the video that I want to show you. Now, you'll see Kaylee and Maddie, this is sped up a lot. You'll see Kaylee and Maddie walk into the scene, and this is some footage. This is extended footage now. And it may look like it's glitching. It's actually just sped up. They have blurred everyone's faces out of this whole entire scene. We know that Adam is the bartender. Okay, he's sitting in the corner after a shift. There's Kaylee. She runs into someone, a friend, and says hello, takes some pictures, talks about her phone real quick. She sees Maddie on the other side of the bar coming over. And just wait 1 second. She sees someone else. Someone comes up to her. And I thought it was a familiar sweatshirt. And if you look, hold on a second. Let me grab this. Let me play it forward a little bit more. There's something going on at the Corner Club. There's something going on at the Corner Club. Is it my audio that's cutting out, or is it the actual video? We can't watch or hear you. Okay, this video has no sound. Okay, so the audio is cutting out. Hold on 1 second. Okay, can you hear me now? Hopefully you can. So let me try this once again. I'm going to add this to the screen. We're going to take a peek at this. There's no sound on this video. This is the Corner Club. I refreshed the browser. Hopefully everything's good. Now you'll see in this video, you'll see Maddie and Kaylee. You'll see a couple of other things. There's no sound. but I want you to watch who walks over to Kaylee in a few minutes. There is no sound. So when you look at this video, Kaylee sees somebody. She taps, wants to see him. When she comes back over, hold on a second. Okay, there she is. She sees her friend, taps him on the shoulder. She comes over and hugs. Now, I'm playing this double fast just to get through this video real quick to get to the point I want you to see. Now, there's somebody else that comes over and walks over to her. Maybe Corey? I don't know. Okay, so I do know that I believe one individual... See, they block out everybody's faces. They blur them all out. But some of them, if you play the video slow, you can see them. Okay? So here we go. Maddie comes over. And she's talking with a friend. And somebody else in a different colored jacket walks over. You know who that is. Okay. So watch this. In 1 minute, and I've noticed people in certain clothing. Pay attention. If you can't see their faces, look at the people in their clothing. There's the jacket. There's this girl in this jacket. Okay. There's Maddie. She's wearing the black jacket. I'm paying attention to the clothing. All right. Then somebody else that we've seen before in an interview comes up. After Maddie pulls Kaylee pulls Maddie to the side, asks probably, what did you tell Adam? Probably trying to figure something out because she saw her talking. There she goes back again. And then somebody in the jacket walks back up. Well, not jacket, in a sweatshirt looking kind of jacket maybe. And there is some conversation going on. The girl that comes up in the Idaho sweatshirt. Now, that sweatshirt is very, very popular, by the way. You know, you've seen a lot of people wear that sweatshirt. With another guy and the girl. And then this is the corner club. Yep. And then somebody walks over, and I believe this is the individual, the girl who went to the corner club with them. She's making her way over to Kaylee and Maddie. Now remember, this girl is really good friends with Dylan and Bethany that comes over to her. Okay? And here she comes walking in. She has the black sweatshirt. Now, this is a very common sweatshirt too, but I have an idea, in my humble opinion, allegedly, this individual that went with them to the corner club and kept an eye on them, in my humble opinion, did so and was texting on the other side of the room. Here she comes. She's making her way over to the bar. And then she's going to make her way and cut through right over to Maddie and Kaylee. Now, I believe, in my humble opinion, this is Jenna McClure. She actually makes her way all the way back over from wherever she was, mingling and talking to the guy that we just saw Maddie flip off. There she is, right in her little Idaho sweatshirt. And, you know, somebody said the other day, I think it was Jenna McClure, that went to the corner club with them. She rode in the car, in the Uber with them. There's her little purse. I've seen her in another picture with that little purse. She has her back to the camera. She turns around and gets, if you play it in slow motion, you can catch a side view of her. So you know that that's her. Now remember, we've seen her in another video with the same sweatshirt, same kind of hairstyle. They've blurred it out somewhat, but you can still see. You can still see that it's possibly her. Okay, here we go. Let's see if I can get this on here. This is the interview that we watched last week. And this was her wearing the sweatshirt once again. Okay. So if you guys are having a hard time hearing me, please leave and come back. Definitely come back. I'm going to refresh my audio because sometimes when we switch between screens, the audio does do something of the sort, and I hate it. Okay? So I will go ahead and try to see if it's my mic. I don't think so. Testing. Yeah, I hear myself very well. So I've got my phone here. I'm watching that one. So with seeing this video and knowing that they got into the car in the Uber going to the corner club, this is more likely to be, in my humble opinion, allegedly, Jenna that got in the car with them is standing here in the corner club video. That is her purse that I've seen in another picture of hers. So Jenna was at the corner club with them. But she was also in the corner talking to JS. Okay? She was on the other side of the room, made her way over to the girls. So she went to the corner club with them, talking to JS, makes their way back over to the corner club. And this was courtesy of Lana. Lana had it up today. Thank you so much. But listen to this. Now, when they leave the corner club, when Maddie and Kaylee leave the corner club, and Jenna's no longer with them, who follows them to keep an eye on them? Yeah, busted. It seems like that friend group with Bethany, with Hunter, with Emily, Jenna, Dylan, all those in that friend group are literally watching them. Watching every move they make that night. So don't tell me that this is not a coincidence. Please don't tell me. Because in my humble opinion, they all had one job to do. To make sure, like Dylan said in her own words, the killer knew they were all back at the same time. Whatever that means. God only knows. Because we still don't know when Ethan and Xana got home. Now, isn't that a little interesting? I've never seen bar footage where everyone... I know, right? Not even in the Karen Reed case. You saw everybody clear as day in the Karen Reed case in the bar. Right? I mean, yeah, I like true crime. Don't get me wrong. But in the Karen Reed bar scene, you see everybody's face. And that footage was amazing. I mean, hello?
Could you explain to us what this is?
Right
This is
there.
the bar scene. Right
I think
here.
we'll just have to play it and you'll have to speak as you...
That she's
Look at
consuming.
that. No one's blurred. You can see everybody's face in this bar scene. You can hear all the details on what they're talking about. So why in the heck is it so hard? Why is it so hard to see their faces in this bar scene? Right? I mean, Ken, you have a very valid point. Very valid point. So that does not make sense when we can see a freaking whole bar scene with someone's face like this. Thank you, Law and Crime. And then we go to this bar scene where you can't see anybody's face, can't hear anybody's conversations. The whole place is involved. That's gotta be. It's gotta, I mean, something's gotta give in this case. something. Because when you see things like this and you feel like they were being watched, these girls were being surveillanced, in my humble opinion. Idaho makes its own rules. Well, allegedly they do. Because I'll tell you, the sus guy that walks in and to the crime scene and then fills out all these reports. I mean, we can all have our humble opinions. There's a disclaimer. All opinions expressed are solely those of the creator and not reflect any of the viewers. Or we're not talking about institutions, organizations, or individuals. We're here discussing public information. And in this public information that they have given us, folks, yes, it has been given. It has been released. It has been released. They were surveillancing Kaylee and Maddie. If Jenna didn't have an eye on them, then John Jack Showalter, had an eye on them. I mean, would you agree? Would you agree with that synopsis? That they had eyes on them wherever they went that night? I guarantee they were minors in there. If they exposed it, it would leave the corner club open to lots of stuff. Well, probably. I mean, if you think about it, if they were underage drinking there just to encourage them to come out and go drinking, they would lose their liquor license. Absolutely. Yeah, who decides what to blur? That's a great question. I mean, if you were in charge, how would you determine what to blur? Because again, I'm going to do a compare and contrast. When we see the bar scene from the footage with John O'Keefe and Karen Reed, you actually get to see everybody's faces. You actually hear the conversation taking place. You don't have a problem to figure out who's who. Those are all adults. Hopefully they're adults, drinking age. But in this bar scene, compared to the other bar scene, you have to wonder, why are they doing that? And if there are underage drinking, hopefully they got caught. So, when you look at some of these documents and this information, and I mean, I'm thinking to myself, who's in charge of these people? And 1-1 Idaho makes their own rules. Obviously, they must. Wicca still believes it's a satanic ritual. Could have some bearing in that, absolutely. Any chance the blue car parked on the King that AM on the body cams, which is likely JM based on her interview, it's the same one parked on Taylor Banfield footage? I don't think so. That blue car was also parked in front of the frat house. I did a whole live, did a dig, look back a few years back, and in 21, that blue car was parked out front of one of the frats. So, I don't know unless, did JM have a boyfriend? Did they share a car, perhaps? Any of it? It could be. Not sure. All right. So, when we're looking at these videos, I feel, in my humble opinion, that I believe that someone, all of them, at least one or two of them, had eyes on Kaylee and Maddie that night continuously. And they were reporting back to someone at home base, in my opinion. In my opinion. So, do you think Dylan and friends were CIs? I thought that in the beginning, because of Dylan's mom, stepmom, by the way, being a former Adair County prosecutor. And I had that feeling in the beginning, but when I started looking into this a little bit more, I think that maybe someone else could have been a CI that was put in that house for a reason. And it's become very apparent that maybe there were no CIs in that house. The police were supposed to be watching that house because they realized on all those, complaint calls, in my humble opinion, I think they realized who these individuals were every time they went and got IDs, inquired of who lived there. And when they realized, oh, shoot, we've got two young women living in the same house that their mothers are involved in being potential CIs. It was their parents that were the CIs. Okay? This is the first time in a long time that my stomach flipped. Les, why is that? Is that because, I realized they were being surveillanced by their circle of people. Not their direct circle, but a circle of people. There are a few programs that perform. Yeah, there are actually some people who actually go in and do this for the police department. They go in and they blur footage and body cams and all that stuff. They really do. A little hole in the wall type places where I went back in the day. This doesn't look like the same bar. Well, this bar is Karen Reed's bar from a different angle that was being filmed. Thanks, Phoenix, for all the info on the blue car. Yeah, it is creepy. Reporting to who? Reporting to Dylan? Possible. Dylan seemed like she was texting and on her phone, and she knew. She was the one with the timeline. She was the one that they said she had a better timeline. She kind of knew everything. I definitely have a few different theories. Could have slipped a Mickey to the drinks, but we don't know because of all the blurs. Sorry, had to go away. I agree, Phoenix. They had eyes on them all that night. From what I see, that's for sure. I have a feeling. The blonde in the white coat who's horsing around with H in the sweater and JV. That, I don't know. She was supposed to be out of town. If it's Eric Gower's wife, she was supposed to be out of town. Don't know. Have no idea. No idea. The one that took the picture of Kaylee's ID at the house with the noise complaint, that was Rosendahl. That was on video cam. Has anyone ever looked at ISP photos of the vent to the Saturdays are for the girls sign in the living room? Yeah, Saturdays are for the girls. I noticed that. On the vent, I thought maybe it was painted or something was behind there. I'm just seeing for myself that they were being watched. Yeah, and that's something that I noticed right away. And I started thinking, who is in this friend group that could possibly be keeping an eye out for these girls to get them all home at the same time? Didn't someone in the chat say ISP has Brian's interview? Yeah, someone said it in the last one that the ISP has Brian interview. But let me show you something that I found while we're on this topic. Now, there is a document that I'm going to share real quick. Hold that thought, Caleb. Remember ISP and Brian's interview. Okay? Now, remember we were told, this is in the forensic document, okay? Remember we were told that there were 4 alternative perpetrators? Now, in this on 6/21/2024, mind you, this was an additional test asked for by Blaker. This was the investigating officer. And he submitted not 4 alternative perpetrators information, but 5. Read it black and white. 5. So in my humble opinion, this is the document that shows even though Kohberger was in prison, jail, waiting trial, on 6/21/2024, they requested all 5 subjects from this submission are males. So in this document, Blaker, I'm going to sum it up for you. Blaker was asking all 5 of these individuals to be submitted for testing. And it's kind of like one of these, why would they be testing 5 new people instead of 4? Because 6/21/24 was around the same time that Anne submitted the alternative perpetrator. If you go back and look around that time frame in 2024, and I'm going to pull it up for you, 6/21 of 2024. Hold on. This is still when it was still in Latah County. It was going to go over. So around that time, there was really no alternative perpetrator until 2025. So even while Brian Kohberger was sitting in jail, here is the documents. Let me grab that real quick. Here's the repository. Around this time frame, there was a scheduling order and a new hearing. And this hearing consisted that, obviously they'd stream it. And this was the pretrial motions, including motions to suppress, motions in limine, and any motions challenging the death penalty. Expert disclosure headlines, deadlines, the trial setting. I need to get my glasses. Hold on. Deadlines for filing pretrial materials such as proposed jury instructions, questionnaires, witness list, exhibits list, and sentencing disclosure deadlines. This is when, okay, pretrial is when this means the show is getting on the road. It's getting a little dicey in here. We need to get this up and running, get all of our ducks in a row, and this is what they needed to do. Well, in the middle of all this, Blaker is testing 5 subjects. He wants 5 people tested, says they're all males. For what? There's no conclusive evidence that shows that at all. What the outcome of these 5 males that they were testing. Now, what 5 males? 5 males that probably weren't in any database system, because we know that they probably had never committed a crime prior. They wouldn't be in any system. Their handprints wouldn't show up. Their DNA wouldn't show up anywhere. 5 males. Can you please test these males? And we never see anything back. Never. So if you think about this, they already knew Brian Kohberger was innocent because they were testing other males. Who? I don't know. But I did find a document very interesting that I laid my eyes on the other night, and I had to see it for myself. I said, why in the world would they be categorizing it as what they have in these documents? And then I realized they were testing other males. Here, let me go to 4405. They were testing other males to see if any of their DNA, any of their swabs that they took were comparing. Now, in this ISP document that I have on the screen real quick right here, I'm going to show you this coinciding document. Kicker. I would play Phoenix Fireballs, but let me show you this document. Here we go. Check this out. This ISP document coincides with 4405 that's highlighted. They want a comparison only of, a couple of suspects or subjects, whichever one they want to call them. I think they're subjects at this point. And then they want a general biology screen. But this is the kicker for me. In reading some of these documents, I'm thinking to myself, why would they put, this is the actual document, it's page 1962 in the Idaho Police Forensic Services file. This is my copy I've marked up of this document and another document. They request this and the report on 4363, but look what they put in the description. Death investigation, non-homicide. I'll read it again. Death investigation, non-homicide. What do you think that means? These Idaho idiots think that the true crime community is a joke. Please hit the thumbs up button. You know I'm going to bring it to you guys. Every single document that I find. What? Someone survived the attempt. What do you think that means? I'll tell you what it means. A death investigation, non-homicide, means it's an inquiry into a person's death that where no evidence initially suggests that the cause was killing intentionally by another person. Exactly, the Holly Berry. Exactly. You guys are so smart. I said this from the beginning, and I've been sharing it a little here and there until I actually found the document. And the goal is to determine how, when, and why the person died, and whether the manner of death was natural, accidental, suicide, or undetermined. The date of this incident is labeled, what is that? 4363. Hold on, let me pull up the date. 4363. Hold on. Shoot. My computer just went 4363. 4363. Agency number. On 12/12, let me make sure that's the agency item number, because there's a different couple of let me go back one. Nope, that's not gonna let me. Dang it. That is not gonna let me get out of there. Hold on. And there we go. Did I lose you guys? Where did you guys go? You just like disappeared from my screen. Hold on. Where did y'all go? Oh, there you are. Shoot, I lost you guys. Yeah, the date is not the correct date though. That was one of the things I wondered. So who were they looking into that possibly passed away on a different date? But I thought it said hold on. This date is kind of small. Let me open it up a different way and look. Give me 1 second. This document says 12/8 received. Date of offense is 11/13. Death investigation, non-homicide. They wanted to do a comparison only in the exam. Now 43, let me type in this whole number. 220004363. Hold on. I'm going to get the live document. 2004363. That is prints that were taken. Item agency. Here, let me share the screen with you so you can see what I'm doing. Anybody can do this. Remember, all the documents are at Justice for All. This actual document is here. This thing is moving really super slow today, guys, so bear with me. All right, let me try this again. Forensic documents. Let's see. Oh, come on. It's just moving really super slow today. Dang. I don't have any. Okay, there it is. I don't know why it's super slow. Everybody get off the internet. Phoenix is trying to do something over here. Okay. So, this agency item were major crime prints, lab item number 4. Well, let me see if I can find who lab item number 4 was. 18 finger and palm print exemplars bearing the name blank, date open 12/12/22. So let me see if I can find lab item number 4. Let me see if it, lab item 4. Let's see if we can find a lab item 4. Come on. It's searching. The 8-hour cover-up. Yeah, I believe it. You can't deny it now. So when they say they were going to OD and the wounds were experimental, well, this is a crazy thought that I have, and you know that I like to question the unthinkable. Was there an OD and they tried to cover it up by a stabbing? In my humble opinion, it is possible. Don't get me wrong. It is very possible. If somebody OD'd and they didn't want to get caught, and someone was mentioned as being a drug dealer in this case, and they went and investigated, and it would have been an OD, they would have caught the killer quickly, okay? Because they even analyzed the stuff in the blue baggie, in the blue powder in the baggie. Now, if it had been an OD and they freaked out and they had to figure out, well, we can invent some story that somebody was being stalked and someone came in and stabbed somebody and then the killer got away and we were all like scared and locked ourselves in the room, would that be a viable story to tell? In my humble opinion, allegedly, this is all speculative. Would that be a story that some people might believe? Yeah, it's irrelevant. They didn't want to they didn't want anyone to know. That could be traced back to whatever drugs that were on the street. Someone could have traced it back on the street. I hope you guys heard the whole theory that I just gave you. If this was, in my humble opinion, speculation 100%, everything I say out of my mouth on this stream is speculation. If someone OD'd and they freaked out, and per Olivia, they were experimental. So let me just paint the picture for you in my humble opinion. If someone OD'd and the drug dealer that was mentioned in this case, they went and investigated. They went and tested the powder that was found and realized, oh shit, it's got to be some street drugs. Who's the seller? We got to figure out who this was. And if the kids were like, oh crap, so-and-so OD'd, now we got to come up with some stalker story, and we got to come up with some killer that entered the house, and we've got to stab them and stage it to make it look like someone came in and killed these guys, and now we're all freaked out and scared and hiding until we clean up the mess, clean up all our stuff, and then we'll call the police 8 hours later. In my humble opinion. I've thought this for a while. This is not the first time this thought has crossed my mind. Okay? I have always thought, question the unthinkable. Is that even possible? Is that possible? Not all of them, guys. Not all of them. Let's just say, Caleb, hold on a minute. Let's just say, in my humble opinion, let's just say that two of them, one of them maybe, OD'd in the bedroom. Okay? And let's just say somebody else came in and they got into a fight about, oh my God, you didn't have to kill them. Okay? Let's just think about this for a minute. If the two that weren't unalived were fighting, Maddie, we knew Maddie couldn't fight that much, right? She was intoxicated. Did she have something to eat right before this happened? Absolutely. You hear the violence and you hear the screaming from only two people. If you listened to the audio very clearly, you would hear who's two that are yelling and screaming. I think, in my humble opinion, if they're telling us half of the story, okay, then someone is trying to figure out who did this. Why did they do this? You hear someone scream and yell, oh my God, help me. And then you hear, you didn't have to kill him. Going back and listen to the Linda Lane audio a little bit closer. Someone had to have known. ENX, OD, K&M attacked. That was what I was thinking. And you have to really question the unthinkable. Is that how it happened? Remember, the grand jury in exhibits from the state are in exact order of Ethan passing first, then Xana, then Maddie, then Kaylee. And that order, I mean, wouldn't you get pretty pissed if your boyfriend was just murdered in front of you and you were going to fight back? Xana fought back. And if Maddie was attacked and you found out that they killed Ethan and Xana, Kaylee would have fought back. Kaylee and Xana had the most injuries of all of them. So when you think about it that way, if you can question the unthinkable, it's possible that it happened that way. Very possible. So go back and listen to, go back and listen to the audio. Somebody put that audio out there for us to hear. Somebody did. I don't know who it was. I think they wanted the truth out there. And I don't think it was Farley. I think they were yelling Charlie. There were some other names also said on there. Okay? I think we're going to get to the truth as soon as people start speaking. We're going to get it. It wasn't Farley. It wasn't Mowich. I believe it was, they yelled Charlie. Now, just because these people were all around in this area doesn't mean that they did it. We still don't know who did this. Was it 4 or 5 of them? Everyone would have defensive wounds. Dina, you're right. But who had the most? Who had the most? None of the audio is clear, but like Outcast is out there cleaning up the audio. And I mean, I'll play an excerpt. But when they were testing this, and they were asking for these investigative forensics, they put death investigation, non-homicide. Those prints, just like the prints, the bloody footprint, the print on the metal table, somebody had to have maybe leaned down without shoes on to check Xana and stepped in maybe her blood and leaned down and got their footprint on the table. So when they said they thought somebody had sat down, I think somebody had knelt down and touched the table, in my humble opinion, and then they needed to take a shower. They needed to clean up. They needed to take a shower. And maybe somebody had the knowledge in this friend group to clean up a crime scene. Okay? 1-1. We know it was Kohberger. Come on. He had the Band-Aid on his finger. He got the coffee from Costco. It's clearly him. What else do you need? Okay. So, yeah. Ninja, aka, what's my favorite picture of all this for Kohberger? AKA Houdini. Yeah, Brian Houdini Kohberger, 100% is so darn guilty, sarcastically said. I'm just saying, this is the picture. Every time I see something that doesn't make sense, this is my picture. Every time it doesn't make sense, I see this picture in my head when I question the unthinkable. Okay? Oh, no shit, Sherlock, Miss Q. So did Josie L. Yep. Josie L. It's been said Xana was trying to pull herself up on the chair. Well, by her foot? I mean, clearly they said that was a footprint. Ninja Brian is factually innocent. Yep. Brian, aka Houdini Kohberger, is innocent. Factually innocent. Factually innocent is a legal term, and we'll get into that. But real quick, I mean, somebody asked me to pull up the Linda Lane footage. When you hear that, I've got a couple timestamps. I will let you hear what I have timestamped. Then you guys go and listen for yourselves. Make a conclusion to what you hear, if it's even possible that this could be something that did happen. You know, when I think about it and I listen to these audio, somebody put it out there for a reason. Someone did. And I keep thinking and I keep going back to the basketball player. I keep going back to the stories that don't line up. And, you know, basketball player kind of fits better than a muscular, tall, lanky individual that has no coordination skills, and a golfer, right? I mean, they did say there was another weapon used, probably, and the marks and the ridges against the face of Kaylee could have been, in my humble opinion, a golf club. And I've always said that. I've always said, and you can ask Bertie long ago, back in March, I said, I wonder if the second weapon was a golf club. I wonder, who's the golfer? Who's the basketball player? And then I thought to myself, what if this individual is all of those? Athletic, you know, not too muscular, knows sports medicine, science, studied A&P, anatomy and physiology, knows a little bit about the human body, knows a few friends that are possibly criminology students, can hide evidence, contaminate a scene. Who could those possibly be? Who? And then it hit me. Go back to my original document that started this all, and that was the Moscow Police Department. Who's the axe expert? Little Miss Hatchet. That's a good one. I'll wait to hear that. I'll wait to hear that. And so, when you think about it, who remembers the... Well, let me just see if I can get a video of it. Hold on real quick. Let me see if I can get a video. Someone has it. Yep. Okay. Bubbly Waters, shout out to you, because she had a video and I kept thinking about it. Well, who could this possibly be? And then I remembered this video. Someone was taking a video, and this, I don't know if this is the house. I haven't matched up and lined up the house. It doesn't look like the actual street, in my humble opinion. But this street, I haven't seen. Okay, now this looks like the street. Okay. Yeah, Amanda, I believe they did. JS is an avid hunter. I believe so too. But did you know that JH is a avid hunter too? That his dad was ex-military and he would win these competitions in outdoors, fishing, gaming, hunting. Yeah. Did you know that at all? Yeah, I think it was humbly, in my opinion, was to protect the university. A lot of people have already speculated that. So when you look at this video, they said some naked guy was running, and I thought, footprint. Is he naked? I don't know. It's hard to get a really good close-up picture. This is the only video, other than one on TikTok, that I found. And that was allegedly some naked dude running to a house. What house did they run to? Have no idea. It looks like he appears to just disappear. I don't know if this is an AI video, but around this, when the light goes on, it's a motion censored light. You kind of see the individual pop in there. Hold it. Here it is. And then you also see, I don't know where they go to. And that video exists out there. So there's the individual. It looks like they're running. I don't know. I think this might be AI, in my humble opinion, because he runs into the car and disappears. Which doesn't make sense, because he's translucent, ducks down right into the car and disappears into the car. So, I don't know. That one running into the last house on the left. Well, I don't know how he ran into the house because there's a car parked there. And it looks like he just melts and becomes one with the car. So whoever took this picture, now I'll say this. Whoever took this picture took it on a phone. They took it on a phone. There were some other pictures out there where there were people. Here it is. No, that's not it. Shoot. There were people you could see up on the top of the hill. I went over that before. I haven't seen this before. Let's watch this video. I'm curious. It says it wasn't me. I wasn't naked. Let's see what this has to say.
Somebody gave me a comment this morning saying that the Daily Mirror had said that Bethany, one of the surviving roommates, the one who has been subpoenaed to testify at Brian's preliminary hearing and she doesn't want to and she's fighting it, has said that she saw a naked man running out of the house at the time of the murders. So let's read this. Surviving roommate in the University of Idaho stabbings has begged not to appear at the suspect's hearing. Okay. He faces a preliminary hearing in the week of June 26, where the prosecutors will begin presenting evidence with the accused yet to enter a plea, according to authorities. However, one of the two survivors, Miss Funk, allegedly heard or witnessed things that could potentially exonerate the suspect. Investigator Richard Bitonti, who is working for Ann Taylor, Mr. Kohberger's lawyer, has subpoenaed Miss Funk to appear at the accused killer's hearing on June 28th. According to the affidavit, she allegedly witnessed a naked man run through a rear sliding door. She lived on the first floor of the home and came face to face with the alleged killer. She is alleged to have heard or saw things which could clear the suspect, as Mr. Bitonti argued, to be a crucial witness, and she's got exculpatory information. Right. So according to the affidavit, she allegedly witnessed a naked man run through a rear sliding door. Okay, well, I've got that affidavit, so I don't know which affidavit they're talking about other than this one by Richard Bitonti. And we're going to read it. No, I read it the other day over on Michelle After Dark. We went through this. But we're going to read every single word. Richard Bitonti, being first duly sworn upon oath, deposes and says, I am a criminal investigator hired by the defence to assist in the representation of Brian Kohberger. I was asked by appointed counsel Ann C. Taylor to investigate the alleged incident which led to the arrest of Brian Kohberger. Brian is charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of burglary. The deaths took place in a 3-storey home. There are 2 bedrooms on each floor, bathrooms on each floor, and a kitchen, dining and living area on the middle floor. Mr. Kohberger is alleged to have entered the house around 4 a.m. while 6 people were sleeping or present, killing 4 people in 2 separate rooms. The people killed were located in 2 bedrooms, one on the 2nd floor and the other on the 3rd floor.
Now, I'm going to stop it there because I want to explain something very quickly. The next line reads, Bethany Funk was interviewed by police on several occasions. I've only seen 2. One, Moscow, and then the second one in Reno with the Nevada State Police. However, several occasions, I wonder if there's any more videos out there. She disclosed things that she saw, she heard, and things she saw. If you were here the other day listening to my rant in regards to, I think perhaps it's possible, in my humble opinion, that Bethany left, number 10 should blow you away because it says Bethany Funk was present at the home 8 hours later when the police were called. 8 hours later, folks. So if you think about it, if they called at, let's just say 12, 8 hours would put you at 4, right? About 4 a.m. She was present 8 hours later when police called, arrived on scene, and discovered the homicides. So she may not have been there, in my humble opinion.
Bethany Funk's bedroom was on the 1st floor. The other surviving roommate's bedroom was on the 2nd floor. This we all know so far. Bethany Funk was interviewed by police on several occasions. She disclosed things she heard and things she saw. Bethany Funk was present at the home 8 hours later when police were called, arrived on scene, and discovered the homicides. During the course of my investigation, it became known to me that Bethany Funk has information material to the charges against Mr. Kohberger. Portions of information Miss Funk has is exculpatory to the defendant. Miss Funk's information is unique to her experiences and cannot be provided by another witness. Bethany Funk resides in the state of Nevada. It's necessary to subpoena this witness because the witness testimony is material and necessary to the case. Signed, Richard Bertonti. So where does it say she saw a naked man running out of the rear sliding doors? The Daily Mirror, the Daily Mirror has obviously got information that is not in this affidavit. So what affidavit are they talking about? Or have they just made it up? Have they just plain made it up? Let me know. Let me know if there's another affidavit that I need to get my hands on, because this one by Richard Bertonti says nothing of the kind. We've read every single word of it. Oh my.
Okay, there. So, what happened to this affidavit? Remember, she used this to quash going to Idaho, and then they went and interviewed her. Richard Bertonti went there, interviewed her, and that's exactly what took place. So, Dylan put Bethany in that house that morning. And I believe that Bethany actually said the other day, well, I heard someone scream and my friend came and got me and I left. Oh, but that was another time. I think it was that day that she was talking about. And either Bethany and Dylan both left, or it was just Bethany. So I saw that too. Been boggling my mind how that was phrased, but didn't see anyone else mention it. Yeah. I've talked about it before that I believe that maybe Bethany and maybe even Dylan went and sat in the car, and we see that. So something is definitely not okay with this. If you read the text messages, BF sends the message. Yes, because remember, Bethany is the one that called DM. Bethany called DM. I think Hunter Chapin met up with Bethany at 4:30. I don't know. So if you think, see, I still think, honestly, in my humble opinion, I think Bethany left at 2 a.m. Either she had to leave between 2 and 3:45, in my humble opinion, is when she left. We may never know. They sealed phone records, right? I think somebody had to be protective. I don't see any other affidavit, none, for Bethany. They quashed the subpoena, and I don't see any other affidavit at all in regards to some naked man. So I don't know if someone made that up or there was an actually factually naked man running around in that area, but someone had taken that video. That was not a security video. That was not a security footage video. It had to have been someone taking a video. Some frats have fathers in the same frat, absolutely. Yep, alumni and police, absolutely. It would diminish the reputation, absolutely. Especially, I mean, guys, 9 frats had passed away. That would be awful for 1 more, 2 more, but 4 more. Yeah, I thought Bethany was Little Miss Hatchet. Yeah, I think they both left. It's possible. It's possible they both left. They both didn't know. That is the 8-hour delay because they weren't there. Bethany wasn't there when the police arrived. Correct. I sent a screenshot to Birdie. I couldn't find a link that would let me send it. Fingers crossed that Birdie got it. I just sent it 5 minutes ago. Bethany's accident. Okay, great, Christine. Thanks. I was looking all over for it. You can clearly see that Bethany walks up on the body cam after the fact. Yes, the car pulls up around 4:30 a.m. I don't know. Was somebody that was in that car? I don't know. Was somebody driving that car? I don't know. Yeah, Bethany is dating Jenna's. I think they're getting married. Jenna's brother, allegedly. I've heard that. It's a rumor. I don't know if it's true. Bethany gets out of a truck at the scene. Interesting. I thought she was very good with the axe. I thought those affidavit changes as they went. Did Bethany take a picture of her phone? I heard this. I would love to see a picture of her phone. Pav shows the hotel they stayed at. Okay. I don't know if they did or not. We would have to get some documents before we take it as factual. One said she had said she had a picture. Jenna's brother's name is Quinn Kelly. No, Jenna McClure's brother is not Quinn Kelly. Yeah, they were both frozen in shock. Somewhere else? Jenna's the shortest. What's the deal with the conflicting story of Hunter Johnson? Yeah, I mean, that we've talked about it a couple of days ago. Highly conflicting story. Highly. I mean, clearly the police walk up, it's on the ground when you walk up, and then it's back on the table. Magic Houdini Johnson, too. We need one honest person to come forward. Too many people know the truth. That would be a gift. That would totally be a gift that Brian Kohberger, who's factually innocent, can possibly go home for Christmas. Wouldn't that be amazing? I mean, wouldn't that be nice? So let's talk about the term factually innocent. Okay? That carries a lot of legal weight. And it's not just a casual phrase like, I think they didn't do it. It's factual innocence that has a specific meaning, and it has a legal threshold. That is different from not guilty. Because of that, citing the law when used the term is important for three main reasons. Now, when you really think about this, not guilty is usually from the trial, a trial. But when you think about when you cite the law, you're not speaking from emotions, okay? You're speaking legally. You're showing that your claim isn't based on opinion, but a recognized legal standard. And that is why Ann Taylor kept saying he's factually innocent. It is a serious legal term. It avoids defamation or legal risk. Calling someone factually innocent in public implies that you are claiming the absence of any evidence linking them to a crime. If that statement isn't grounded in law or legal filings, a person or institution could argue that it misleads the public. But no one argued with Anne that she was misleading the public. Not one person in court ever said, no, let's argue this. Your client's not factually innocent. No one protested against what Anne was saying because they all knew he was factually freaking innocent. The DNA, nothing. The FBI, nothing. The ISP, nothing. The MPD, nothing. Nothing proves he was in that house, around that house. No DNA, no fibers, no hairs, no nothing. Factually innocent is the legal standard, period. Under the statute, factual innocent means this, X, Y, and Z. Not, I believe they're innocent because I feel that way. Yeah, no stalking. Absolutely right, Joey. Absolutely right. They couldn't put him together. And here's the legal burden. It requires proof better than a not guilty verdict. And what would be that proof? What examples of proof have you seen over the last 2 months? July, August, September, October. We're already in November. Over the last 4 months since he took a plea deal. 4 freaking months. They've known since February of 2025 it was not him. These reports early on knew it was not him. They were holding him against his will in a case that has violated every single law known to man in the legal justice system. Not guilty as the prosecution failed to prove the case beyond a reasonable doubt if it went to trial. Factually innocent means there is an affirmative proof that the person did not commit this act. None, nada, zilch, niet, no factual evidence. Whew, I'm glad I took my blood pressure pills today, folks. So glad. The legal term is very clear. Not guilty means not proven. Factually innocent means it can be proven the person did not do it. Exactly, Wicca Wicca. Now they're coming after the money that the public knew he was innocent, donated to him so he could continue to talk to his mama, especially with autism. Now, there are legal routes that can allow him to be released on a claim of factual innocence. Let's talk about that. Yes, Wicca, 20% of everything he got will go towards his restitution. At least he gets some balance of that. They're still trying to get $3,300 away from him, even though he has no ability to pay. We'll see what Hippler he took the case under advisement. We'll see what he rules. And he shouldn't have to pay anything, but they're still charging him, saying he has to pay. Okay. Now, there are things that you can do to help him be released. Go to justiceforall.com. Write a letter to the DOJ based on facts. There are no factual, nothing factually that proves he's guilty. Nothing except for the hodgepodge crap they came up with in the PCR DNA. Go to the website and you can go to justiceforall.com and you can actually see a sample DOJ letter. It's that easy. Thank you, Amanda. There it is. And when you go there, there's a form sample for the Autism Innocent Project. Okay? There is that available too. Now, he has to have some type of evidence, newly discovered evidence. Not that they already have all the evidence from the reports and this and that. It has to be newly discovered evidence. Not what the public has discovered in the last 4 months or X, Y, and Z since they released all these documents to the public. It has to be new discovered evidence that would likely have to produce a different verdict. Like somebody coming forward and being honest and telling the truth. Or someone getting caught and they check their fingerprints and bam, they're the ones that match. Okay? Post-conviction relief is a motion to vacate. It's a PCR. But then you have to challenge Idaho, the state. Then you have federal habeas corpus, which basically means that I'm being held against my own will, and that has to be federal. Post-conviction DNA testing is new factual evidence. Where biological evidence exists, DNA testing has produced many exonerations. I've talked about this before with the Innocent Project, and many states have statutory paths of requesting testing. That's something else he could do. or an executive relief, a pardon or clemency, a political remedy sometimes used when courts can't act. And that's why I have on the page Justice for All, FOURALL.com. You can actually see how to write the governor. You can actually request and get some information in regards to writing the attorney general. And every process differs from state to state. So there is obviously one last thing he can do, and that would be a formal certificate of innocence. That's only where available. Some jurisdictions issue the following: a court determination of factual innocence. It helps clear records and obtain remedies. And, I mean, he can sue the hell out of the state of Idaho. But all this new evidence is needed for any one of those. And I sure hope that they preserved all the DNA, all the ones they have, not just the ones they lost or sprayed with Blue Star or any of that. I hope somebody does take it pro bono. Don't you think he's already wasted enough time and money and resources sitting in prison? Maybe independent DNA or collect independent collaboration. I mean, a witness needs to step forward. Records, phone data, surveillance. Someday, somehow, someone's gonna tell the story. I hope it weighs so heavy on someone's conscience out there that did this, that we already know the cat's out of the bag. Time is ticking. Somebody rats you out. Somebody says, I've had enough, that you can't be blackmailed anymore, and that you maybe even say enough. I did it. An innocent guy is in jail, prison for life. We stole his freedom away from him. Because karma's a-coming. That's a freight train, baby. All it takes is one person to call in and say, dude, I know who did this. Clear my conscience today. Call in and tell them I know who did this. Because you know what? The authorities probably already know who did this. They've got all the investigation documents that they have not shared with us. They have redacted that information. I'm sure they have an idea of who did this. That investigation took them to 3 people in Boise. And do you know what I found when I was remembering during this process and looking at my notes? Back when the Amazon documentary dropped, guess who said they called in tips? Yep. Miss Emily Allant called the FBI or the ISP or the MPD, whoever she called in, and gave tips about this case. I would like to FOIA what those tips were. I would really like to know what those tips were. And that will give us the $1 million question. Not who did it, but why. Why did they do this? I think if we start looking at why this happened, we'll figure out who did it. Why did this happen? I mean, the standards are pretty high to claim factual innocence. They really are. But I think it's possible that maybe the Innocent Project or the Autism Innocent Project can do this. I think we just need enough people to rally and say, we the people have had enough. And we the people should be able to help him. There is a case out there called Schlupp v. Dello, the Supreme Court Actual Innocent Gateway Standard. There is a option, minus the DNA, minus all that other post-conviction testing, minus all that other stuff. if we have some after discovered evidence, that can get him a new trial. That could get him possibly factually, not guilty on record. The Bureau of Justice Assistance at the DOJ. Has anyone ever heard of that? Bureau of Justice Assistance at the DNA. There are some ways that we can actually help. See, there is this guy named Lloyd Schulp. He was a prisoner on death row in Missouri. He was convicted of murder, but later new evidence suggested that he may not have committed the killing. He filed a federal habeas corpus petition claiming constitutional violations in his trial. But his petition was procedurally barred, meaning the law, he was too late or he didn't follow proper filing rules. Then the key issue became, can the court still review a case even if the paperwork is late or procedurally barred? If the prisoner presents evidence showing they might actually be innocent, the court ruled yes. If a person presents new, reliable, factual evidence, the court must review their otherwise barred claims. And that is the actual innocence gateway that I'm speaking of. The court held that prisoner and it can bypass procedural barriers if they show it is more likely than not that no reasonable juror would have found them guilty in light of the new evidence. And that, my friends, is the Schulp standard. So what did Schulp did not do? It does not declare somebody factually innocent. It opens the door to get the courts to look at the case again, even if it would not normally be looked at. That unlocks the courthouse door. It's huge. I mean, you guys remember the show Making a Murder? The DNA exonerations, the Innocent Project litigation. They used all those in this case. The new DNA results, evidence was withheld, key witnesses recants, forensics were proved flawed. Now, I'm not saying, and I will never say, that a law officer of the court or of law enforcement to protect and serve got on the stand and lied under oath, because we would never be able to prove that. The only way you could prove that is to have some documentation, some emails, some information that proves that a law officer of the law lied in the office of the courts. That is very difficult to prove. But it would be more likely to believe that that officer was never given Brian Kohberger's name, so that when they questioned him in court, he could say, well, I didn't know that, that was his name until the 19th of November. Because you'd have to prove that he was lying under oath, and that is very difficult to prove. Didn't they say Maddie had wounds that were after she died? Who had a knife? I'm telling you, folks, in the evidence in the MPD files, there were 2 knives. Don't forget, I love to talk about this. In the MPD files, there was the Kershaw knife and a steak knife. Whose Kershaw knife? Why didn't they test it for any blood or DNA? I don't know. But there were 2 knives that were confiscated from 1122, and that one was taken on the 16th of November, just a few days after the unalivings. So I don't know why they didn't test that knife. It's there, right in black and white, right in the evidence. There's the item 61. There's no reference of this knife at all in the forensic files that were just released that we've gone through. None. Absolutely none. And I don't know how they even came to the conclusion. I have no idea. It blows my mind some days. I'll go back to the word I used this morning. Jeez. I don't know how big it is. Never seen it in pictures. They took it in evidence, never tested. Never. And when you say this, I don't know who this Jay Embry guy is. I mean, I don't even know who you're talking about, honestly. Because to prove that an officer lied, you have to have factual information in writing that he knew. Now, when he gets up on the stand and they question him about the 19th, that's when they told him. They didn't even have a name. They didn't even share a name with ISP until the 19th. If you look in these forensic documents, they will say, well, we got a name of a suspect, but they never mention the name at all. Never mentioned it. This evidence that I pointed out when these documents came out, this one, you know, the one that I said on December 5th, they had his name. And when I say they, Dustin Blaker had the name. Remember, Dustin Blaker works for the university. He is on the university team. Payne was not. Payne was not part of the university team like Rosendahl and Tesdahl. Payne had no clue. They didn't tell Payne everything because this Blaker, his job was to protect the university and he knows it. He looked horrible on the stand because they made him look bad. I shared this the moment I found it. You can go back to my live videos. I've talked about this for a while. I even went over the testimony that Ann Taylor questions Payne about. They kept Payne out of the loop. Remember, this guy comes into the department a couple years prior. He's still on night duty. He's still on rotation with the patrol division, not the university division. And Payne shows up to the crime scene, y'all, in his uniformed duty. He's not a detective yet. They promoted him that night. He was the face of the department because of this big military experience. That's all. He was the new guy in town. So to say that somebody lied under oath, you better have some very good documents to back yourself up. That's pretty serious to say a law officer, enforcement officer lied without having proof that he lied. Okay? I'm not trying to stick up for anyone, but I'm telling you, if they don't want you in the loop, they don't have to tell you. Blaker knew of this name right here. And Payne even says, you know, there were meetings, this and that. He didn't know anything because they kept him out of the frickin' loop. One more thing. You know who did know Brian Kohberger's name? The chief of Pullman Police, the one that admitted that they all got together, the university called him over, they all had these meetings, they all sat in it. Why is the guy from Pullman the chief sitting in these meetings? Hey buddy, you got somebody that from the outside we can blame this on? You got somebody that might be kind of shady that you could pin it on? Yeah. Well, there's this guy named Cruz that basically, the Pullman 4, he went into somebody's apartment and had a knife, a steak knife left on the counter. Interesting. Well, that won't work because he doesn't live and drive and we can't put him in Moscow, but we can put somebody that you know in the area, possibly, at the scene of the crime or close to it, 100 meters. Think about it. What was Kohberger doing from 10 at night to 4 in the morning? I've talked about this before, guys. You know the drill. 10 to 4 was almost the same hours that Tesdall and Nathaniel Rosendahl were working undercover to get the drugs and the alcohol away from the frats, away from the university kids. So 10 to 4 would seem like maybe he was doing some assignment undercover. Wow. Use the thought process here. Think about it. They knew fingerprints on the 5th of December. That is when Kohberger's name first shows up. They didn't want this case to get cold. They didn't need it to get cold. They needed to have somebody stand in while they still did their investigation. And they did. I just showed you in the beginning of this live. They did. They certainly did. They had more subjects tested in 2024, as they probably weeded out over 19 individuals. And then some. Who does undercover alcohol ops? Well, the Moscow Police Department did. Their campus division did. It was blatantly written in their report. They were in plain clothes. Tesdall and Rosendahl were in plain clothes doing what? Looking for offenders. Yep. Right, in black and white. So if Moscow was doing it, don't you think that Pullman did it too for their university? And maybe some of the universities meshed together? Possible. Very, very possible. Street clothes. Yep. So, folks, I'm going to ask all 93 of you just to hit that thumbs up if you haven't yet. Drop a lot of love on the way out. It is time to skedaddle out of here. I have got an amazing stream for you tomorrow at 3:45. 3:45. Definitely be there. What did you say? In Idaho, all can come true if you play your cards right. It's crazy. It is their story in street clothes, if you believe it. The cops in Idaho can be anything they want to be. I don't buy it these days. Y'all have been amazing this stream. Thank you for being so respectful and kind. We appreciate every single one of you. I am going to make me a Mediterranean dish tonight. I'm excited. Be well. I have to jump on my bicycle still. And I hope that you guys have a good night's sleep and come back tomorrow at 3:45. That would be Mountain Standard Time. Everybody be well.
Listen close, we rise up from the ashes, digging for the truth, breaking old habits. We marching with the nesters, they laid the foundation, passed down revelation, sparked our motivation. In a world of facades, we peeling back the layers. Truth is the weapon that cuts through all the fakers. Phonets in our chest, reborn from deception. Eyes wide open, no room for misdirection. Every step we take, we honor the connection between past and present, forging our resurrection. Phoenix rises in truth, setting us free from the lies that they feed. We reclaim our beliefs, thinking differently. We'll break every chain. We dance for freedom, case by case, again. cultivate vision, planting seeds of awareness, challenge the narrative, break out of the harness, digging deep for knowledge, unearthing the hidden. Our minds are the soil where the future is written, no longer confined by the scripts they prescribe. We write our own story, let the real ones subscribe. One voice becomes many, together we rally. Freedom's not a concept, it's a move and a tally. Case by case, we break the cage. Dog by dog, we shift the stage. Phoenix rises in truth, setting us free from the lies that they feed. We reclaim our beliefs, thinking differently will break every chain. We dance for freedom, case by case. Again. Again. Rise up, speak out, watch the new world breathe.